I'm going to have to monitor Facebook. Okay, let's see here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. It's starting and setting up the meeting. Last summer in Rio. I'm not sure what year this came out.
Hi.
Hey,
Oh, that's the name?
good
That's
morning.
the name of that artist? Last Summer in Rio?
That's the name of the actual
The
song.
song.
Yeah, but it's by Azimuth.
Oh, that's probably extremely appropriate. It seems like we've had our last summer of vacation at a lot of places right now, man.
How about that? That's just
I'm so ready to just put on a hazmat suit and just be out, right? Like,
exactly.
hey, if I can, hey, you can't get me if I got on a whole suit,
No,
right?
no, no, no,
No, I
no.
can't do that.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Not just
Come
no.
on, man.
Fun, but for fun. Good
No,
morning.
I
Good
want to put on
morning.
the whole hazmat suit and I want to go on vacation. I'm just over it. Like, I
No,
will, like, I'll find one that fits. Like, we'll make
that,
it cute, right?
I'm so ready, and I'm so looking forward to Thursday.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for reminding me. So people probably don't know even what we're talking about. Do you have this on speaker view for
I
your Zoom? Yeah. All right, perfect. So
do. I do. I have
yeah,
actually no, I don't. I have it on. Oh, I do. I should have it on. Yeah, both of us. But
yeah.
when I minimize it, I don't know what happens. So are you seeing both of us or what?
Um, no, I'm just seeing me.
Okay.
And there's a little, of course, there's a lag on the actual live feed, um, but it's going back and forth, which that drives me crazy on the Zoom. But maybe people don't care. Okay, I see both of us now. So that
Okay. Cool.
all right.
Back and forth. Okay, you see both of us there.
I see both of us, so we're good.
Okay, perfect. You're gonna have to monitor the questions once again this week. Good morning, good Saturday to you, and everyone who has joined us. Sorry for the delay, but yours truly had some technical difficulties. But we're here now, and that's all that matters. And we appreciate you guys tuning in with us every Saturday morning, and we're going to continue to bring it to you. And just have this conversation and of course answer any questions because that's what we're here for, right? Thank you, of course, as always, Marquita, our queen of mortgages, for joining me this Saturday morning. I appreciate you giving up your time. Got the breakfast in for the kiddos and the fam. So I'm a little delayed, but again, like we were saying, everything is so off kiltered and off whack. The time schedule. So these kids they stay up God knows how late, and because I shut it down. So
Yeah.
they'll
Well,
be.
it's ironic. I made breakfast, but had to wake them up to eat.
Oh, okay, okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
me, I'm taking advantage. This is my time. Saturday morning, this is my quiet time. So
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do this. But anyway, so thank you again. We're not gonna keep y'all this Saturday long, especially since we're delayed getting on due to my technical difficulties. But once
It's
again,
all
thank
right.
you all. It's all good, right? It's life. It's what we do right now. Everybody just has to pivot in these times. Everything is new. So there is no reason to, I guess, apologize because what do? We just adjust, right? We pivot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This called it's a military terminology too, right? Some adapt and adjust.
Yeah. Let's
Just
do it.
everyday life. So you just gotta adapt and adjust. I just find us doing it more during this time, but it's all good. It's all good.
That's it. That's it. So I put a question out there as in our title. Then it's
Hmm.
basically for those of you who are watching us, um, do you think it's more important now to have to work with a real estate or mortgage professional? I mean, I think it's always obviously it's always been relevant and necessary, but now more so than ever. Any responses coming in?
Got a couple hearts, some likes, and
Okay, okay, that's good. I like that. I like
you
that.
know, a couple hearts, couple likes after the fact. But I would have to say, I'm just gonna guess the answer. That is probably more important now during a pandemic to work with a real estate professional or have a real estate team with you when buying a house than before.
Why do you say that? I mean, I, of course,
I want to let you expound on it. Yeah.
Well, okay, so during these pandemic times, I mean, like, you know, we've changed the whole structure and, you know, climate with even showing houses. So
Mm-hmm.
having a professional one to be able to work with you, kind of give you the guidance on what's the new, platform for showing houses or going in and out of homes, and having a real estate professional that's going to make sure that, especially if you're still living in your home, that they've put things in place to protect you and your family when you come home after that buyer or that group has been through there, to help guide you through that. And then the reality is, if you just call them one of these, I call them Uber agents, kind of like you pick up a phone call an Uber car. The Uber agent, that's all they're going to do. They're just going to meet you there, show up. Are they going to come prepared with things? Are they going to really be able to expound on the market? Because in more times than not, a lot of them are dual career. And you might say, well, what's a dual career? Well, they actually have an actual job that they work, and they do this on the side because this is kind of a part-time gig, but not all of them. And then, of course, being able to understand the importance of having your finances. And we talked a little about this last week, but having everything that you need in place because of the type of market we're in, making sure that you're in a position to get your offer accepted. I mean, you've got to, number one, we were kind of having this conversation earlier, making sure that your finances are in place, because if they're not, and you don't know your numbers, don't waste your time, the seller's time, in going out there, because by the time you walk through that house and decide whether or not you like it, it's probably already gone. So again, having the guidance, in my opinion, is hugely important, and someone to help, I mean, it's very valuable. I mean, it's a few little things there, but yeah, I certainly do. And I think, according to National Association of Realtors, they did some studies that shows that the overwhelmingly, buyers and sellers agree that it is more important to work with a real estate and mortgage professional during these times, and not just one of your, I want to say, I'm thinking doc in a box, but real estate or a mortgage, online
Okay.
mortgage company. You need somebody local. You definitely need
Yes.
one local, especially now. I had a conversation last night with a listing agent. One of the questions she asked me about the offer we were about to submit: is the lender local? That's
Okay.
that's important.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my 2 cents. But so I say yes. Do we have anything from the audience or from
No, so they're being real quiet this weekend. They're not asking any questions. So I see the speaker view is kind of going back and forth again, but who cares? So it's largely important because of the type of market we in, I would have to 100% agree that you need to have work realtor as well as working with a local lender is paramount. And what I'm just seeing on this side is that, and we talk about it every week, and I just I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I mean, mortgage companies are running at capacity right now. You have companies that are actually trying to slow down the amount of loans that they're receiving and prioritizing, a purchase loan maybe over some type of refinance loan. But even still, there's just not enough manpower. So I had shared that the mortgage volume year over year, just people applying was up in the high 50%, right?
Yeah.
So I actually came back and corrected that and said that stat was maybe from the month before, that the volume really is up 7%. Okay, so that's overall people applying for mortgages. So even with 70% more volume, you cannot add 70% more underwriters, closers, loan officers that actually know what they're doing to curb that. So as a result, it seems like time as far as settlements are being pushed a little bit, or people are still getting it done, but it's a race, right? And if you don't have professionals, people not dropping the ball, not responding in time, then things will actually be delayed. That's just the bottom line. So I'm always down for a fast close, but I'm like, everybody has to do their part. Mortgage, real estate, and lending, it's a trickle down effect.
Absolutely.
Change is one thing, then that trickles all the way down through the entire process. And sometimes I find myself, I feel like I'm backed into a corner because it's something that I can't control. It's happened, and you're expecting the lender to try to figure out how to still make it close on time.
Right.
And we've been communicating the whole time. This is what's happening. We still need to get it done. We still need to get it done. So it's a pressure cooker right now. So you got to have a team that can come through. Got to have communication. I'm starting to see, and you might can speak to this, but I'm starting to see more contracts with less closing cost credit from the seller.
Great point. Absolutely.
Which is a huge indicator of this being a seller's market in certain price points.
Exactly. And with that said, in the same vein, even though it is a seller's market, it's still ideal for borrowers or purchasers because the interest rates are incredibly low. And, you know, what's going to happen after the new year, after the election, we don't know. But right now, if you're on the fence, you need to, I mean, I know that it's a fight out here, but if you've been thinking about it, don't think about it and wait until next year because, you know, like, you know, the old saying goes, tomorrow's not promised. We do not know where the we're going to be next year. So take advantage now. So it is that. But that goes back to why it's important to have a professional working with you and a team of professionals, your mortgage lender, your real estate professional, so that we can help package or number one, coach you, educate you on the importance of what to do in times like this. And irrespective of a pandemic, in any time, why it's important to have, you know, that professional team working on your behalf to make sure that, you know, you are in the right place.
I think you said their very first word. I mean, the very first word was coach you, right? So everybody that does something great typically has some type of coach, right? I mean, absolutely. The best basketball player, he still had a coach, right? That's right. You usually have a coach somewhere, a life coach, whatever, coaching you to do it. Now, the key with that, people, is you have to be coachable, right?
Oh, that's the key.
Don't be the player that knows more than the coach, right? No. And you get out there, run the play, lose the game, right? So that's how it goes. So you also have to be coachable. But yes, it's very important to have a real estate team. It's very important to have that coach to help you get over the hump and have success in a real estate transaction. Because it's tough out on these streets, but folks, I understand why you're out there. Like you said, the money right now is dirt cheap. It almost gives me, what is the word? It gives me pause, right? Because I'm like, how low can it actually go at some point?
Oh, yeah, right.
This has to stop, right? Like, it's a total race to the bottom. Like, it's like, we're lenders. We joke all the time about people, and this probably, I shouldn't probably say this, but whenever the Fed cuts the rate, now they said the Fed funds interest rate was 0. People really were like, oh, can I get that 0% mortgage? And I was like, nah, bro, that has nothing to do with different things. But now kind of like, oh my God, like, you're seeing rates in the 2s. You're seeing rates actually on the rate sheet that start with 1. Right? Yeah. I mean, everybody's scenario is different. So I'm just like, how low can you go? But we don't know what the future holds. I'll say for buyers, definitely still evaluate your situation because renting is costly in the long run. And even if it is a fight and you have to, you know, invest in buying a home for your family, then that's what it is, an investment. You know, you're still going to need somewhere to live. Let's stop looking at it other than anything else, right?
Right, exactly. And you know, and with that said, let's just say that, let's point this out. With the rates being as low as they are, and you know, I know folks shop for their loans and their mortgages, and that's well and good, and that is totally, you're right. And I think that's, you know, I'm a shop for, you know, just bought a rug. I looked at one side, it was this, on the other side, it was that. I get it. But understand this, and Marquita, again, this is in your wheelhouse, but just because the rates are in the 2% doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get 2%. I refinanced my car and the rate was 1 point whatever. And I didn't get that. And I have a pretty decent credit score. So I'm like, okay, hey, can you explain to me why I'm not getting that 1 point credit? Well, because that's for new homes. I didn't see the fine print. I mean, new purchase, a brand new car, a 2020 car. I'm just refinancing mine, right? we got to read the fine print. Just because it's 2% or 2.75 or whatever it is, or 3%, doesn't mean that that's what you're going to get, because everybody's story is unique. It depends on your credit score. It depends on your debt to income ratio. We talk about it every week. So just because, it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, okay, well, let's just say, hey, Marquita says your rate is going to actually be 3.275. But over here, you got Asmus, mortgage broker, who says, oh, I can get you in there for 2.5%. But then he hasn't looked at your paperwork. He hasn't pulled your credit. He hasn't looked at your debt to income or looked at all of your finances to say, oh, and then he comes back as, oh, no, actually, we can get you at a 3.5. So you walk away from this, and then you
Well,
all
listen,
always scared about.
I don't even have to say anything.
Yeah,
You've
and
been
then
talking to me too long. I don't even have to say anything about it.
Let's shut it down. Well,
Like, you look, good job. You have been listening, right?
Yeah, pay attention.
So many factors that go into an actual interest rate that I'm very hard. It's hard for somebody to just say, what's the rate today?
Right.
There's so many factors that go to it. And to it, I can give you a ballpark, but now I need to give you an APR. So I hate it when you see these sites that say, oh, well, Navy Federal, just like you talked about with your car refinance, Navy Federal posted 2.5 today. And yes, I straight up said their name. And it's like, okay, but did you click that little button? And then the button, it'll say, that's 2.5 with 1% origination, which is 1% of the sales price. So nobody sees that. All we see is the number. And that's what we're programmed to do. We're programmed to shop. We're programmed to bargain. We're programmed to try to get the lowest everything. And sometimes I'm like, well, you know what? You're going to get what you get what you pay for, right? So you can get the 2.5, but let's look at those closing fees, right? And see, are you really comparing apples to apples? So it's always a tough one for me. Over 18 years now, I've kind of learned that for some people, it doesn't even matter. Like, I can say I'm at 3, the person's going to say they took 2.875. They're going to come back to me and say 2.75. So my spidey sense is good now. Wars. Like, soon as I understand that that's where we're going, I'm like, hey, you go with ABC Mortgage. I'll see you, next time, because
and then once they start and they get you through, then start, once they got you through the courting process, and by the time this thing all plays out, guess what? You would have been better off with the queen.
Oh, yes. But you can't tell people. It's kind of after the fact. So just got buyer beware with stuff like that. Just know that sometimes rates are put out as a teaser to get you to raise your hand. Even though they are incredibly low, everybody's situation is going to dictate something different. Just as your favorite realtor said, it's going to be, credit scores, debt to income, property type, reserves, loan type. So there's a lot that goes into it. But still, with all that said, we really are in this unbelievably low climate. I mean, I am actually personally shocked, and I'm not in a climate like this for such an extended period of time. In my career. So it's like, you got to, make hay while the sun shine, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It is a great time. So the moral to the story is, people read the fine print. I'm so anal.
Yes.
And I see those little teaser, we buy, you sell for less and all that, save on this, that, and the other. But if you ever do like I do, freeze the screen, right? If you can pause the screen, read that really tiny, even when it comes down to like the medicines that they do or they advertise.
Oh God.
If you stop and that guy is talking real fast, pause, look, and read the fine print. It's not what that's all marketing, guys. That's marketing.
Yeah.
It's not what you think. But anyway, I
would call it more advertising.
Big advertising. It is. It's marketing, advertising. It's all of that. It's just to tease you enough, dangle the carrot, right? Let's get you in the door. And once we get you in the door, then we're going to feed you some more, fast talk, right? And tell you all and the warm and fuzzy and all the things that gives you goosebumps and like, yeah, I'm in. But it's all about, again, coaching, giving you the proper guidance, educating you so you can make the right decision. And again, you got the right team right here. So anyway, with that said, let's talk about refis, because that's also a huge topic. So, I mean, that's part of the things you talked about, how the mortgage lenders can't keep up, and all that is going on right now because you've got so much going on with loans and stuff coming in. But a great deal of those are also refis, would you say?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt. The influx in actual business is because of
I got guests here, guys.
applications.
That's my guest.
Hey India. So the refinance applications was making our year over year numbers extremely high from the mortgage side. At one point, they said there was $4 trillion in mortgage debt that could be refinanced, where there was at least percent equity or so in the house. So people are starting to take advantage of it. And even with that, I'm getting calls from clients or text or email. They're getting letters in the mail telling them, you can take advantage of your equity position now. And it actually is true. So of course, when everybody swarms in to do that at the same time, it causes, like I said,
Bottleneck.
a bottleneck,
Oh,
and companies have to decide what's more important, which we've looked at, hey, purchases are more important because there's so many other entities affected. It's just not the person living in your home. If you're already in your home looking to refinance and it takes 60 to 90 days to get it done, it's not a huge deal because you're already living there.
right.
You want to make sure you lock in those savings or whatever. So I definitely think it's a great time to look at it, especially if, and it goes back to coaching, if you're able to already maintain the budget that you have, and this is just like the little cherry on top, right? So now if we can lower the payment $100, $200, but you take that same payment and recycle it back onto the mortgage,
Right.
keep making the same payment, now you're actually accelerating your payoff. So even if you rolled in the cost, so there's so many ways to be creative that really don't get talked about, that you can try to help people understand how to use that cash flow properly, that they're creating when they refinance.
Yeah. Because I find that I think what happens, especially in my arena, people are thinking, well, and you're right, unlike it was, and this is another reason why this is not like the 2008 market, because people around really do have equity in their houses and they're not foreclosing, you know.
No.
So, but there are some people that are afraid to get out and buy because of the fact that, how, and values have increased.
Mhm.
And they're like, well, if I sell my home, where am I going to go? I've got a family right now. We sold their home. They've been in temporary housing for 3 months, Um, and so they decide, well, let's refinance. Maybe it takes some equity out, maybe not, but refinance, take advantage of the low interest rate. But then you got those that do that anyway and still decide, well, we'll do this and right,
Still,
and then we're still going to sell this house, and
still end up moving. Yeah, I've had that happen. I've
yeah,
had that happen with a refinance, then a year later. Yeah, but look, life happens, right? Like it's no way there is nothing you could have said or told me that right now on July 25th, 2020, that I would have been into the fifth month of a global pandemic where
right.
I've been locked in my house and wearing masks and ready to wear a hazmat suit just to go out of town. There's nothing you could have said. I'd have been like, even if you'd have been straight face serious, I'm predicting the future, like literally nothing,
Yeah,
nothing. So when I say life happens, that's just how it is sometimes with the buying and the selling. So always just have your team ready, right? Like our
right.
girls say, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right?
That's right. That's right.
Reach out. We're here to help.
That's it.
So
Hey,
August man said, good morning, ladies. I love this. Thank you. Thank you for
morning,
coming.
August. That's my girl. I love my August. Hey,
Yeah, so if you have questions, just drop them in there. But yeah, nobody, you wouldn't have told me, COVID-19 global pandemic.
shutting it down. And you know what? Because of COVID, I don't know what this was. I ended up with a new baby in my family.
You had to do it, didn't you? And he's so stinking cute.
He is, but he is bad, guys. He's bad. Listen to him. You hear me?
There's no such thing as bad
He's a
dogs.
bad baby. He's bad. But
He's
yeah,
just hyper.
yeah, very much. I think do dogs have ADHD? But anyway, I digress.
Absolutely.
This one does. And my main man, I don't know where he is. He's just, I don't know.
Oh yeah, he's pissed. That's where he is. I'll say it for him.
He is. He's good. But Mama's been giving him some love. He still hangs out with me.
Okay.
This joker, he gives the kids a run. But anyway, I do have a quick question. I guess we can close out on this one. I
Okay.
have a question this week, and I said, be sure to ask Marquita, how many times can you refinance in a year? Now, I know the answer to this, but I'm going to let you expound on that. I I mean,
times
but you know
can you
what?
refinance
It's
in a
funny
year?
to you and me because we're here. But you know what? Here we go back to the coaching, the educating, the guiding. This is a legitimate question that someone had, and
Okay.
and I'll let you go ahead and expound on that.
Well,
And can you refinance?
first August said, what about Ringo? Exactly. Over here cheating right in
Okay.
Ringo's face with this little bitty dog. Like,
So is you know
with
well,
she got a little entanglement with the dog, right? She brought
hashtag entanglement.
into the mix, right?
Really
Yeah, and
is.
he's cute, but Ringo is in his feelings, man. I'm gonna go over there and pet Ringo and give him some attention because Jen
He needs love.
on the low.
I'm
Like
telling
we used to be on these videos with Ringo. Now we got this new young guy in there. That's bad. That's not.
honestly, I actually
Stop
thought
it.
I wanted to bring Ringo in, but he has left.
Okay, he just
So
left.
Ringo's
So
like,
anyway, back to the question. We're supposed to be ending the show and we digress or the video. But how many times do you refinance in a year? Well, it really depends. Okay. So what type of loan you're trying to refinance and what you're trying to do. The ultimate number would be 2, right? Like
yes.
for the most part, because for instance, if you buy a house and you want to refinance, you want to cash out, you got to at least have the house for 6 months. So what type of loan you're trying to refinance and what you're trying to do. So I don't know whose volume is that. Is that mine?
Nope, that's me. We're good. I'm sorry.
Okay, so 6 months from that time for the new value to be able to use a new appraisal. For VA FHA, they have, like, if you have a new loan and you have a 6-month window in there where you have to actually wait. So it's actually 210 days from the time that loan was actually started and payments, right? So the max you probably could do it is 2 times in a year, but I don't know why it would make sense for somebody to do that. And some it does just because maybe they cashed out and now rates have dropped, so they're doing a rate reduction loan. But or maybe they have enough equity to actually do a refinance twice in 1 year. But I mean, from a lender perspective, that's a pretty slippery slope. We have what's called early payoffs, where you need borrowers to make at least 6 payments before it's a charge back to that lender. So a lot to it, but I would say 2.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And to me, it doesn't make sense cost wise. I don't think it's cost effective. You know what? I apologize. I do have one more question that I was hit with this week. So,
Okay.
FHA buyer wanted to know, if I buy this property, how long do I have to live in it? One, or can I rent it out? It was like they wanted to then turn around and then like rent it out and buy something else.
Oh, they wanted to commit loan fraud, huh? That's basically what they're saying. Yeah, I'm like, I can't, I don't understand that language. Like they're
okay.
So FHA loan is for primary residence. When you do sign the papers, you do say that you will at least occupy the property for 12 months. But yeah, that's a challenge when people are trying to use a low down payment loan to actually get in with their only intention of actually converting it to a rental. Yeah, it's loan fraud for the most part.
Basically,
you sign that you are going to live there for at least 12 months.
Well, and when you sell it, that's the question that says, have you lived in this house at least 2 out of the last 5 years?
Well, that's for the capital gains.
I was going to say, right, for capital gains.
For the capital gains of it or whatever, but it happens. But yeah, you do say you're going to at least stay in the house for a year before that, something like that. Truthfully, life does happen, but I'm always weary when the first question is, how long do I have to live here before I rent it out?
Before I can rent it out. That was the question
at that point. Yeah.
Does the lender actually check on that? Well, I can't say, but I can tell you what. These are the guidelines, especially with
I say I just give them a guidelines. And once again, are you coachable? So that's enough for me. Want to end on that one.
That's it. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. Again, we appreciate everybody for joining us. Marquita, as always, I appreciate you too. And y'all have a great Saturday.
My pleasure. All right. We'll see y'all. All right. Peace.